On this video, we'll review a few key points of how to do a service report. First, when you click on one, it's going to ask you if you're starting the job. And it's very important to click yes if you are starting that job. That will actually add a time and mileage entry stamping the date and time that you started this job. We'll complete the time entry when we're done with the service report. So as we started this job, if we look, we have incompleted field service reports. And here are the important portions to fill out for the service report. First, on the General tab. Then we're going to go to the Reading. On the General tab, scroll down a little bit. One very important element is who's that person on site. Typing the first few letters should bring up the name of the person, which you can pick from. That will identify who was there when you went to do the service. Second is, scroll down a little bit, maybe not quite that much, there is an arrival status and a departure status. It's very important to select what status was the equipment in when you got there. This is going to be positioned in predominant placement for the customers to see when they come to the web portal. Next, you can click the microphone, put some comments in there for what those might be. And if you notice, there's going to be a date, time stamp, and the name of the person who put it in, your name. We can then scroll down. If we have recommendations, we will document what those recommendations are within the recommendation box. It's a text box, so you can put a lot in there. Now, if you do have recommendations, it is important to document in the internal note, which is to be shared only with the office, what labor, what parts are going to be needed to fix or repair whatever that problem is based on your recommendations. This is very important for the people in the office. That way they won't come back and bug you about what was that. When you file this and you clear the service report, automatically the office will know that, hey, there's a recommendation, and the sales folks will know what you think time-wise it's going to take and what type of material. Now, when we click Save, on each page, this is important. It says, is job and or FSR complete? Now, you click FSR and job if you are completely done with this job. Just FSR if there are more than one FSR, field service report, to be filled out. So if you're servicing more than one piece of equipment. In our case, we said no because we had more to perform. The readings. When you click on readings, these are customized drop-down lists for you to go and fill out, check the check boxes, select the options, and you should go through this entire list each time you do a service. Go and review everything that's there, everything that's applicable, go and document. As you can see, these are integer fields or numeric fields because you have a pound sign. If you just have an open box, text, you have a drop down, a checkbox, that's easy. Inverters here in this case, it's got a pick list, so we're going to say pass. So you would go through everything in the readings. That also is critical so that your customers can actually see that information. And then when you click done, it will ask again, are you done with the job and the service report? In this case, we're still not done with the service report. So we're going to click no. It shows us that our readings were saved, and it brings us back to the General tab. Scroll down again here, and we can take a look at what the document looks like by clicking FSR document. Now, this would be what you would show the customer. So you can click that, expand it, zoom in, go and show them what your comments were, what your recommendations were. They'll see all of this information up there. And once he's seen all that, what we're going to go and capture are those missing signatures there. So once that the customer has seen the service report, we will come back using the back button, come back to where we were, brings us back there, and now we can click on signature. Now, for signatures, we'll click a new customer signature here. There's two options. Type above is the default. So with that set, you can just type a name, and it will put what's an acceptable legal signature on document. Your other option is to sign below. Now, when you click sign below, then it will expect a signature in the box at the bottom instead of typing on top. Let me just reset this. Go and get it back in the right way. Okay. So as we click sign below, then you would use a stylus, your finger, or whatever, and have the customer sign on it. Once they're done signing, they can click the done button. And this time, we're still not quite done. There's one piece missing, so we're going to say, no, we're not done with the service report. And now we see the signatures captured. To go back to our service report, we use the navigation link, which will roll us back all the way from the customer to the location, the contract, the job, to the individual service report for that piece of equipment. Now, once I'm there, the last thing I'm probably going to do is come and put the departure status. What was the state of the equipment when I left? And that is a primordial thing to fill out for the customers as well. This way they'll be able to see their equipment when last service was online. And this time when I click save, I will say I am done with the job and the service report. And when I click that, here's save was successful, but it tells you check your time and mileage entries because it just completed it. It put your arrival time, and now it just put your departure time as you click that button. So now when we're looking at it, we can see Pierre. I got the arrival date and time in there. I'm going to click on that entry, and now I see the actual entry. It shows I got there at 11:13. I left at 11:20. And we're going to charge my hours on the 12th, which is same day. Now, it says hours on site is 0.1 because it was only 7 minutes that we were on site. It's about, 1/10 of an hour. Now, do not edit the hours up here. It's not necessary. Well, you could simply put how long you were there. Like in this case, let's say 1 hour. And let's see what happens. As soon as I tab away, it documents I got 1 hour standard labor for the day. And look at this. It adapted the departure time to be 1 hour exactly after the arrival time. So you didn't need to do any changes. If it was 1 hour and that's it, you could save that. Now, let's just say that it was 10 hours that you were there. Well, the system will mark in red because it'll automatically tell you that, okay, there's 8 hours of regular time. And since you did 10 in a day, 2 hours were moved to the overtime, making you a 10-hour day, 8 hours in regular time, 2 hours in overtime. And if you looked at the time, arrival, and departure, it put us for 10 hours at that site. So it adjusted the arrival and departure time appropriately. Now, let's bring it back down to 3 hours. Let's say in regular time, and if we go back to the top, we'll see that the departure adjusted to 3 hours after the arrival. Very simple. Other things that you could do is, let's just say that while the system would adjust for you, this being an exception, we'll say I have 3 hours, but it is in overtime, not in regular time. And if you see, it will adjust to that. But if you look at the labor standard, it says 3 hours only today, which means that normally those 3 hours should be regular time. When you click done, it asks you one more time, are you done with all the service reports? Obviously, the answer is yes here. And you want to make sure that when you come back, it says the save was successful. So this adjusted your times for the day on that particular job. And if we open it again, we'll see that by clicking on the time entry, is now adjusted to 3 hours of overtime as we last saved it. Click done, and one more time, it'll ask you again. All the service reports filled out, obviously